So, gentlemen, this is Regroup. Some of you have been here for well over a year. Some of you predate me. You were in this group before I was even with another leader. And as Chris and Brian and Kevin and I talked, we felt it'd be really helpful to have one particular day dedicated to just explaining what Regroup is about, because there's so many things that you're going to pick up along the way about, I didn't know we had to do that, And so this way we're going to be able to explain kind of what we're trying to do. And so the leaders and I were batting around ideas of what we want to make sure that we include in this. So make sure, Chris, Brian, and Kevin, if there's things that I have missed, we'll be sure to add it to the discussion. But let's start with some of the basics. So Regroup, of course, stands for Recovery Group, or the idea that we're going to regroup. We're going to regroup. We're going to come together, and we're going to battle together. So it's any form of sexual addiction. It's here that men make men out of excuse-making, emotionally weak adolescents. I thought I'd start really positive for some of you guys, but I'm telling you, there's so much truth to that excuse-making side that it really is a description, right, of how we operate. Now, you can get used to straight talk, especially if I'm involved. Your leaders are much more gracious than me, thank God. But you likely won't like hearing the word addiction. I've had guys say, well, I'm not a sex addict. You have in mind something really weird out there, right? But if you struggle with some version of restraint from allowing your sexual passions or interests or curiosity to mess up your life, and you can't stop, call it what you like. But the point is, it makes it easy for us to just say our addiction, sexual addiction, and get out of your mind that there's something, messed up and weird about a person who has a sexual addiction. We just gotta, it is what it is. And we're gonna walk with integrity as God will allow us to. You notice we use the word grit and grace. On one hand, grit is, we're gonna speak it straight. We're gonna call you on stuff. That's the addict talking. You're making excuses. Listen, that's not acceptable. You gotta get that covenant eyes on your phone too, or on your iPad, or I've had one guy said you got to put the covenant eyes on your kid's phone because you use your kid's phone to get to porn. So you understand that actually there's really wisdom in saying, I want better for you. I want to call you to greatness. I want you to move forward. And so there's the grit. Grit, of course, the idea of a sandpaper, of taking off the rough edges. We all have rough edges. We all have rough addiction edges that we need to have addressed. And so that's the grit side. Grace side, and Kevin Foster, as you prayed this morning, really good job of acknowledging God's grace and God's mercy to us all. And his forgiveness, his cleansing, his call to fresh starts, and we want to support each other in embracing God's grace and fresh starts and all. And I really love this line about, we want you to come as you are, but we don't want you to stay as you are. We want you to keep growing. So another one that comes up frequently, and one of my favorite lines, is boys make excuses and men make changes. And that's what your future is here with Regroup. We want to help you overcome your addiction. So come to work hard, surrender to the process, make yourself accountable to other people, but stop with the excuses, make the changes, and don't just show up for a while. We've had guys that have showed up, oh yeah, I'm going to go get help. So I went 4 times to Regroup. Right, yeah, like you went 4 times to the gym and you're instantly transformed into being fit. Not likely. So yeah, and then this other concept that we continue to drive in the group is recovery is a team sport. We fight with you against the addiction that has you. We need one another. Matter of fact, research has shown, and Doug would say, that the number one thing that has helped guys get out of their addiction is being committed to a group. And so, but research has shown that this is the heart of recovery, that we need one another. Shouldn't be surprised. The New Testament is filled with one another verses. Encourage one another, pray for one another, lift up one another, build up one another, forgive one another, love one another, and on and on and on. I think there's 12 or 13 different one another's. And so, yeah, so regroup is a one another team. And you've got to jump with that. So here's the growth attitude. Okay. These are the things, and in a little fuller way, this growth attitude was one of the talks we did before. So I will just push through this with just a reminder of these elements, and then talk a little more about the aspects of regroup as well. So the growth attitude is engage. It is on you to open your mouth and be involved. Now, we're going to try to include everybody and welcome everybody and everything, but you're going to get out of this what you put into, and it starts by you engaging, to interact, to share yourself, to open up, to volunteer your thoughts and ideas or your challenges, your hurdles. Don't just show up and be there and say, oh, that wasn't bad today, like you're some kind of adjudicator in the crowd. No, there's no spectators here. We're on the team, the recovery team. Just like in football, I need my tight end to do this, and I need my running back to do this. And if my center doesn't do this, we all have a role to play in one another's lives. So we engage. At 6:30 in the morning when we say, hut, hut, let's go, we're all cleats in the turf and we're going. Number two is being honest. My experience in counseling one-on-one with men or men with their spouses is that almost without exception, a sexual addiction is accompanied by a lying addiction. You become equally gifted at lying, and you don't even know sometimes when you're lying, manipulating, withholding, that whole game of lying has to end. And some of you even say, no acting out, no lying in your reports to your wingmen, because you recognize that was such a theme. And so we got to be genuine here. We got to tell the truth. We got to be honest. And the opposite of humility is pride. And if I'm too proud to be honest to say, look, I'm struggling today, I'm hurting today, I relapsed or whatever, just be honest enough. Don't let a struggle be the reason why you don't come and whatever. That you recognize that we're all on this journey, and we need to be honest, be authentic, and stop the lying thing. Yeah. Thirdly, care. You say, well, Dave, I've only been free from this for 41 days. What help can I bring? Just because you struggle doesn't mean you don't have something good to say. Now, you may not have lived it out very long. I accept that. But the truth is, you need to care. You need to encourage. You need to support. You need to affirm. We're going to come back to that later, because you'll see the importance of connection. But you need to care, especially for the guys in your small group. Doesn't mean you can't care for the guys in the bigger group, but it's getting, reasonably large. And so those 5, 6, 7 guys in your small group, that needs to be the group that you really pour into and you care for. Reaching out. You got to understand that we can't read your mind. And so you got to make a call, text message on WhatsApp. If you're tempted or struggling, you've got to reach out. You've got to call for help. Put a wingman request out there. Over and over again, I will yet write a whole article on this, but power grows in secret. The power of our addiction, the power of the enemy's hold on our life, it grows in secret. As I keep it private, it gets a greater grip on me. But if I break the silence, I found in my own life, if I just call my wingman and say, listen, I'm struggling with this today, by just doing that and knowing that he's praying and talking about it out loud, it's funny how that hold releases because of just being honest about that. So remember, reach out. Humility, I implied it earlier, but that authenticity, that just come to submit and learn, believing that, there's going to be some nuggets. I mean, whatever talk I might do, may not be perfectly tailored for you where you're at right now, but just come saying, okay, Jesus, what do you want to teach me today? What is it that I've got to learn today? What is it you want to help me with, Jesus? And then come looking for that nugget, looking for something to just anchor you, deeper again. Respect. This is where you need to believe that your commitment to doing the work, your commitment to being here, you're going to create part of a culture that says we care for one another, we inform one another, we reach out to one another, we're going to do our work, because if week after week, I didn't do any step work, I had a busy week, I didn't have any step work, I didn't do, a busy week. And if that becomes your song, we don't love you to let you keep with that song. But we want to respect one another, say, listen, I want to, I want to work harder on this. Ask me next week about this, and then work hard to at least get half of that done. So at least you're moving in the right direction. And if you aren't going to make the group, just inform us on WhatsApp, because we need to know why. We actually call guys from time to time that haven't shown up for a while and say, hey, what's up? Confidentiality. You know this, you all know this, and you all want this. What's shared in the group stays in the group, not the content. You can share what I share, what Chris, Brian, Kevin share, the truths, the support. You could maybe be helping someone else who's not even in ReGroup with some of the things you've heard, or connect them to, the website where there's other helps available. But beyond that, no names, no details, no sharing with other people about, oh man, this one guy. Don't be going there. And I know for most of you, that's pretty straightforward. Grit and grace. We talked about that earlier. That's one of our core things. We're going to rub off the rough spots. We're going to call each other the greatness. We're going to be loyal through struggles and challenges, but we're not going to let excuses and alibis and explanations, minimizations, justifications, they can't live here. We're going to step up and be a wingman for one another. And of course, likely one out of three of my talks is all about deepening our faith in Jesus. And listen, without a doubt, I have yet to see a man get free without being fully surrendered to Jesus. And so in his word, some kind of Bible reading plan, just let his word anchor you in the process of recovery. And so ReGroup is your band of brothers. Matter of fact, when I call people and I get their answering machine, I often just say, hey, this is a wingman call, or this is a band of brothers call. I'm behind you today. Just want you to know I was thinking about you and praying for you. And I just want to encourage you with this thought. And then I give a thought, but I always leave a message when I call if I don't get through to the person. So that's kind of the ReGroup growth attitude. Now, what does the process include? And for some of you guys who've been around a while, you need to be saying, oh, you know what? I'm likely not very good at number 4 or number 6 or whatever. So, and you guys that are newer, you go, oh man, I didn't know about that. Okay, well, that's okay. That's our fault. And that's why we're doing this particular presentation today, so that we kind of all are on the same page. And when new guys come, this will be what we give them and review with them. So some of the recovery process, just regular attendance. It builds momentum. You get those nuggets, the insights, the strategies, the support, the encouragement every week. You can be called back to a deeper walk in faith, and just lean on God's strength, and the brothers behind you praying for one another. There's just real value in just regular attendance. And some of you guys will recall bringing in my accountability partner, Larry. We're now in our 30th year meeting on Wednesday mornings. I'll meet with Larry tomorrow morning again. And we only miss if we're sick or away. There's no other reason. So out of 52 weeks, we're at least 42 weeks that we meet. And so, there's going to be times that you have to miss part of it because of work or kids or whatever. I'm not saying to be ridiculous, but on the other hand, don't make excuses about not attending if you I slept in, or I had a bad day, I didn't have a good sleep. Suck it up, princess, and just get here. Okay. Um, Daily accountability. You need to have a specific person who's your wingman that you text in all clear to. All clear day 45, all clear day 46, all clear day 47. And then, you can talk to them, encourage them, they encourage you. And without a doubt, that accountability is really significant. And also the men in your small pod, your subset of regroup, where you can share struggles with and talk to guys with and reveal temptations and relapses and whatever. But you need to be accountable every day. Every day. I'm accountable every day. I'm going to continue to be. And I'm accountable every week. I meet for an hour and a half every week with Larry. Every week, well, other than sick or being away. The 12-step program, okay? The 12-step program is called Steps to Freedom by Dr. Doug Weiss. And there's other programs out there that are good. We just find this is one of the strongest. And it's based on the original 12-step program from the 1950s that really turned things around in the life of so many people with addictions. And this is really wonderful version because it has the merging of scripture in here. And of course, Doug's 35 years of helping men through addictions. And so good material, you can get that online. And basically you work on this on your own. This is your homework. And you need to be pushing through and say, okay, I'm on step 4 now. And when you finish a step, you share it with your wingman and maybe the guys in your small group so they can check you on it and make sure that you're putting significant work in it. But the 12-step program is for everybody. And matter of fact, you can see that picture there on the side. So you have a little idea of what the thing looks like. That has my initials on the corner because I'm working through the 12-step just to honor the journey that you're all on. So no excuses for anybody. Maintaining connection. Beautiful truth is the opposite of addiction is not necessarily purity. The opposite of addiction is connection. Connection meaning I have people in my life who are going to walk with me. And so you need to reach out. Don't try to go this alone, even if you come to regroup, but then you're going to hold back and not share yourself and not encourage others and not interact. So maintaining connection is really significant to get you to a better place. You can be supported. You can also encourage others. And there's 3 different ways that we stay connected in regroup. Making phone calls. The goal is to make a 3 to 5 minute phone call every day to one of the 23 or 24 other people in regroup. Now it can be focused on your small group to call one of those 5 or 6 guys. Great, no problem. I have an alarm going off every morning at 5 to 8 to reach out and call somebody. And and I confess that I don't get it every day, but I try to at least leave a message to somebody. But phone calls. And make sure if you do call, don't just hang up. If the guy's not there and leave a message, then leave a message. Be encouragement. Just say, hey, this is Dave. I just given a Band of Brothers call. Just want you to know I was thinking about you, praying for you now as I hang up, and hope you have a great day. Behind you. Talk to you next Tuesday. There. Took me 22 seconds. But you need to really believe that phone calls are significant. I want to thank Chris for getting WhatsApp going. And because what happens is there's an ongoing dialogue, and you'll have WhatsApp for the main group, regroup itself, and WhatsApp for your pod, your smaller group of 5 to 6 guys. And you'll see the ongoing support and commentary of guys who are going through a hard time or being triggered or have a word of encouragement or something they read that was helpful. But WhatsApp is a really good program. App to be involved, and you can see the details there with WhatsApp. Our Tribe. The really good thing about Our Tribe is it does the counting for you. As you check in, and you don't need to get the Our Tribe that costs you anything. And it doesn't mean you can't, because there's bonuses for that, that things that you could add to your recovery. So, but most of us just have our tribe, the basic app, and it counts your days, and it also allows you to track if people are triggered, and you can just click on they're triggered, and all the guys on your tribe, whether it's your small group or the big group, instantly get a notice that, hey, Dave's triggered. Let's reach out to Dave right now. So phone calls, WhatsApp, and our tribe. Covenant Eyes. Covenant Eyes is a protection accountability software. It does two things. It's accountability because it reports to your wingman or another pastor or somebody else of how you're doing. If you're trying to get to questionable sites, if you try to go to a questionable site, it'll block you, but then it'll also report, just so you know, Dave tried to get to this questionable site. We blocked him, but you need to talk to Dave and ask about why he tried to go there. So there's the accountability side, and you can set that report to be daily, every 3 days, or every week. I get a lot of those reports. But it's also not only accountability software, but it's the protection software, because Covenant Eyes has now developed what they call artificial intelligence or screen accountability. And basically, they intermittently, randomly just take snapshots of your screen. And if there's anything questionable that you got to kind of even around the corner, and I snuck in to get to something questionable in another way, they monitor your screen, and they have a way of measuring pixels, knowing that so many of this color tone is likely questionable. I've actually had some of my own flag, because I have Covenant Eyes too. And I end up counseling some lady in Maple Ridge, and she just has a sleeveless dress on, you know? And so she has bare arms here and her face. And so they actually, flagged and said, is everything okay with this one? And I'm actually counseling the lady, but and it wasn't anything inappropriate, and she wasn't exposing anything except she had a sleeveless dress. So there was skin here and her face. And that was enough to have the artificial intelligence go, is everything okay here? And I thought, how cool is that I'm actually counseling somebody, and they did a little check saying, what's this, right? And so Covenant Eyes is a great thing, and it's going to cost you about, I don't know, 12 to 15 bucks a month, but you can put it on any of your devices, all of your devices. So your phone, your notebook, your iPad, your computer, your wife's phone, any place you get tempted, you can put it on. It's part of your monthly package. So Covenant Eyes. Personal counseling, whether it's Brian, myself, or Cam, or even someone else, it's really important that you got to sort out what's driving you to your addiction. And for some of you that are married, you have to start realizing how your addiction has really been trashing your wife and hurting her. And so, that's enough to say there. Most of you are aware of that. And yeah. And finally, deepening faith. I said this before, but you will not make it out of your addiction without a true and vibrant spiritual awakening. And there's men in this group who kind of had the notion of faith, who were I kind of grew up with that, but really walking with Jesus was the farthest thing from their mind and heart. And I've seen men come alive in this group, make commitments over 3 or 4 months after they'd come forward to their addiction, where they realize they need the Lord, they need to put him first, and they have a vibrant spiritual awakening. And they actually live out this verse, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways, put him first, submit to him, and he will direct your path. He will guide you. And so without a doubt, God needs to be your head coach. And he needs to be through the surrendering to his will and the Holy Spirit. He needs to be the one guiding you every day to aspects of truth in this journey. So those are the parts of ReGroup: the attendance, the accountability, the 12-step program, maintaining connection through phone calls, WhatsApp, and our tribe, Covenant Eyes to protect you, personal coaching as needed, and then just continue to grow in your faith and your trust in the Lord. So there's what ReGroup's all about and what we're trying to do. I'm going to just pause the recording, and then we're going to jump into full discussion. And Chris and Kevin and Brian, anything else you want to throw into the mix? I want to hear from you guys. So let's go to that.